On September 1st, 1939, at 4:45 in the morning, German artillery opened fire on the Polish town of Wieluń. 14 minutes later, German warplanes bombed the town's hospital. By the end of the day, 1,200 civilians were dead and Wieluń was 75% destroyed. World War II had begun, not with a declaration of war, with a massacre. Over the next 6 years, somewhere between 70 and 85 million people would die. That is roughly the population of Germany today. Dead in 6 years. The majority of them civilians. This is the darkest chapter in human history. And to understand how it happened, you have to understand the world that World War I left behind. Germany in 1933 was a broken country. The Versailles Treaty had taken 13% of its territory and demanded reparations that crippled its economy. The Great Depression, which began in 1929, had pushed German unemployment to 30%. Savings wiped out by hyperinflation. Families starving. Political system paralyzed. Into this despair stepped Adolf Hitler. Hitler had been a failed artist, a decorated but lowly World War I veteran who burned with rage at Germany's defeat. He blamed Germany's humiliation not on military failure but on a betrayal by Jews, communists, and weak politicians. The stab-in-the-back myth that had no basis in reality but enormous emotional power. His Nazi party promised national restoration, economic recovery, and racial purification. He rose to power legally, appointed chancellor in January 1933, and within months had dismantled German democracy and established a one-party dictatorship. The world watched and largely did nothing. Britain and France pursued a policy of appeasement, giving Hitler what he wanted to avoid another war. When Hitler annexed Austria in 1938, there was no response. When he demanded the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain flew to Munich and agreed. He returned home waving a piece of paper and promising peace for our time. 6 months later, Hitler seized the rest of Czechoslovakia. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. Britain and France declared war 2 days later, but they could not help Poland in time. Warsaw fell on September 27th. In the spring of 1940, Germany launched a stunning offensive in the west. Denmark and Norway fell in days. Then, on May 10th, Germany attacked France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. The French had built the Maginot Line, an enormous fortification along the Franco-German border, and believed it made them safe. German tanks simply drove around it through the Ardennes forest.